Welcome to Natural Horsemanship Solutions. This is Cooper and Andrea, and we're going to show you how to get your horse to stand still while mounting. You can see that Cooper's moving around a little bit, tossing his head a little bit. He's a little bit anxious, ready to get going. So Andrea is going to show you how to get your horse to stand still while you get your horse mounted. It's important to note that before you do this, you do want to make sure that your saddle fits properly and that your horse's back doesn't have any issues or soreness, because that can cause them to be irritated and want to move about. So I want to make sure your horse is happy and comfortable first. So you'll notice Andrea did a little hop on the spot there. So that's your first test to make sure that your horse is going to stand still. And then she put her foot in the stirrup and she pulled herself up, didn't swing her leg over. She waited for Cooper to stand still, and then she got back down and then she rubbed to reward him. Where most people go wrong when they're teaching a horse to stand still while they mount is they actually punish the horse for standing still instead of rewarding the horse. So by that I mean that when you have a horse that's anxious and moving around and not wanting to stand still while you get on, the horse starts to move about, and then when the horse finally stands still, usually the person goes, "Oh, phew," and they quickly throw their leg over and they get on. But then the horse goes, "See, that's why I didn't want to stand still." So instead, when the horse offers to stand still, you need to retreat and reward them and start over. So you'll notice that Andrea pursues mounting, but as soon as he stands still, she stops, and then she'll rub and reward and start over. So what you're doing is you're showing the horse that you're not going to advance before they're ready. And so she does a little hop, make sure you stand still, and then she can only advance or continue to progress to getting on while Cooper's standing still. And if he starts to move about at all, she has to wait for him to stand still, and then that's when she'll reward him back off. So she's starting with the hop, then she puts her foot in the stirrup. If he's still standing still, then she'll pull herself up in the saddle. He's moving around too much, so she's going to wait for him to stand still, and then she'll reward him by getting down, and she'll start over. So then she's going to do it again. So she switched sides here. She's going to do the other side. So he's moved around a little bit there. She'll wait for him to stand still, and then this time she rewarded by backing up a step, and then she moved forward again. And so when the horse starts to move about, you want to make sure you move with the horse. So Cooper's backing up. She's making sure that she doesn't have too much rein in her hand. She's not asking Cooper to back up. But if you let the horse put you in front of them, meaning if Andrea didn't move with Cooper at his side, then Cooper would be the one putting Andrea where he wanted her, and instead you want to stay there. And then you'll see Andrea rewarded him when he finally stood still with a friendly rub. We want to be very careful that it doesn't turn into a game of you go towards the saddle and then the horse backs up and puts you back by their head again. So instead you want to make sure you move with the horse and you always stay in the position by the saddle if that's what your intent was. And then you can reward them by taking a step away and starting over. So you can see she did a couple hops that way. And so this time she's brought herself halfway up and Cooper hasn't moved, so she was able to swing her leg over, and then lots of rubs for reward. And then now she's going to get off, and then she can do it again. So that's how you can get on the horse from the ground. And even if you want to use the mounting block to get on, the mounting block's great for making sure you're not torquing on the horse's back or if you have trouble getting on. But you do want to make sure from the ground that you do the hopping from both sides, and you can still pat the saddle from both sides, and you can pull on the stirrup with your hand just to get the horse thinking about that, because once you get on the stool, it puts you a little bit at risk that you might tip over or something like that. So it's good to get the horse used to it on the ground, and then you can use the stool. So you can see Andrea got on from the stool no problem, and this is after she's done the groundwork already. And so she puts her foot in the stirrup. She hesitates a minute, makes sure the horse stands still, and then she swings her leg over. You hesitate just for a moment to make sure you have permission to get on the horse's back. If you were going to walk off or move forward, then you'd want to make sure that you could get down safely, and if your leg is halfway over the horse, that's not a very safe way to be able to get down. So now Andrea's going to show you what you would do if your horse actually starts to walk while you're at the mounting block. So basically you just don't want to turn it into a game. You don't want to get off the block, reposition the block, get on the block, get back off to reposition it. So instead you just stay on the block, you use the one rein, and you just have the horse do a circle around you until they're standing still where you want them. And then you can go ahead and do your getting on by hesitating for a moment, and then lots of reward once you're on as well. And then once she's on, Andrew's going to start with a backup. Instead of starting with walking forward, she's just going to start with something different to keep him guessing what's going to happen next.